market. Them swearing police don't a market like Satan out of hell. Go mash up people start that beef when them sell big gun. On the tree market man, big gun. On them a tree the cat man, big gun. On the tree the peanut man, big gun. On them a tree the dirt man, big gun. On them a tree the son man, big gun. On them a tree policeman, big gun. On them a tree soldier man.
Good evening, and welcome back to our London studios. I am very tired. I don't know how long I'm going to be out here with you tonight. But I know there is development on the, the plane will drop out of sky with the Indian them. I know there's development on it. I'm not up to date on it, but I'm going to speak from the viewpoint that I already planned to speak. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to my community of party and all my family members. Good evening to my moderators and platform membership holders, viewers, and subscribers. Good evening, Debbie Jervis. Good evening, and welcome. Patricia Matthews, good evening. Veteran, good evening. You must go and sleep already. Sunshine, good evening. Kate M. Good evening. Natalia Freeman, good evening. Marcia Thomas, good evening. Tony Tall, Pamela McNeil, good evening. Pete and Teach, welcome. Good evening. Paula Shelley, good evening and welcome. Christine Gilbert, Rena, good evening and welcome. Lilith Foster, good evening. O'Neill Gale, Evan Green, good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Dorothy White, good evening and welcome. Raymond, good evening. How are you? Good evening. Good evening all and welcome. Gleaner Observer knows somebody have come out here for them today because, correct me, people, if I am wrong. On my way home today, I scoured through the Gleaner and the Observer. And nothing about that plane that fell out of the sky. Nothing about it. So was the Observer, Abina Sarkodi, how are you? So was the Observer, nothing about it. Did any of you see anything about that plane with the 200 and odd Indians in the Gleaner or the Observer? Did any of you see anything of that plane, Jamaican foodie, we drop out of the sky in the Gleaner or the Observer? Did you see them carrying that story? Ivan Green says no. Conveniently, the Gleaner and the Observer, deaf and blind, plane drop out of sky right down the foot of town one there. And not a or the Observer. Don't mind this star, because we know so the star. Know what this star do. Mind people business. Kate M haven't seen anything from the star, the Gleaner, or the Observer. Observer did. When did they, Yvonne? However, in the last half an hour, both the Gleaner and the star narrative because the story I told over the whole weekend. My sister, I don't know why this computer always freeze. I'm gonna have to go on my iPad tomorrow night. Is the story that they put out half an hour ago you're referring to? Because the Gleaner put this out half an hour ago. Arrangement being finalized for Indians to leave Jamaica, say security minister. And then in the same half, the Observer put out the same. Why is this thing freezing? My question is, why them ready to put out the narrative? That's just the Observer's narrative. My check that came out for both papers, but none of them told us about this flight. If I want to talk about it, or am I pressful? I don't know why my thing is all over the place tonight. This computer gave me a problem. I have to go change it. Oh, stop. Only this evening, nifty friend, the Gleaner and the Observer decide to put out the Minister of National Security narrative. But all of this sounds spooky. It also shows that our politicians do not understand international law. I wonder how the Americans are feeling with such a security risk unfolded in their backyard. It could have been any plane with anything on it. Jamaica accept landing. If Jamaica is not into something very the protocol to follow here would be, yes, you can authorize them to land on the issue that they have been flying. Is one, not to disembark and refuel the plane and send it back to its destination. This mismanagement, this we did not know what to do that unfolded in Jamaica. I don't saw it go. Let's listen to the clipping, Janet McIntosh, and then we come back after that.
Wayne Anderson.
Scores of enjoying the sights and sounds of downtown Kingston on a Sunday afternoon. The issue is, they should not be here, nor should they be moving around this freely unsupervised. We understand the Indian nationals were among 218 individuals who arrived in Jamaica via a chartered flight. The flight, a white and blue Airbus A340, is registered in Germany. It has also since been impounded and remains on the tarmac of the Norman International Airport. The aircraft and those aboard did not have the relevant approval, including the passenger manifest, to come to Jamaica. Law enforcement sources told our news center that the chartered airline also did not say it was arriving in Jamaica. Nevertheless, civil aviation officials allowed the aircraft to land. We were further reliably informed that the flight transited through Dubai and did made a stop in the Egyptian capital Cairo, when Uzbek national was picked up before heading to Jamaica. The Uzbekistan national, based on our checks, is of interest to government officials in the United States. Interestingly, another Uzbek national who also arrived on a previous flight was eventually detained when the authorities started investigating this Indian chartered flight. Now, after this flight with the Indian nationals arrived.
Sorry, man, people, I don't know why it is so low. Let me see if I play it from my phone and see if you can hear it better. Because from my phone, I know so it's sound. Hold on there.
Jamaica Friday.
Let me know if you can hear this.
Scores of Indian visitors enjoying the sights and sounds of downtown Kingston on a Sunday afternoon. The issue is they should not be here, nor should they be moving around this freely unsupervised. We understand the Indian nationals were among 218 individuals who arrived in Jamaica via a chartered flight. The flight, a white and blue Airbus A340, is registered in Germany. It has also since been impounded and remains on the tarmac at the Norman Manley International Airport. The aircraft and those aboard did not have the relevant approval, including the passenger manifest, to come to Jamaica. Law enforcement sources told our news center that the chartered airline also did not state it was arriving in Jamaica. Nevertheless, civil aviation officials allowed the aircraft to land. We were further reliably informed that the flight transited through Dubai and then made a stop in the Egyptian capital, Cairo, where an Uzbek national was picked up before heading to Jamaica. The Uzbekistan national, based on our checks, is of interest to government officials in the United States. Interestingly, another Uzbek national who also arrived on a previous flight was eventually detained when the authorities started investigating this Indian chartered flight. Now, after this flight with the Indian nationals arrived in Jamaica, there was a lot of discussion among the authorities on how to treat the situation. It was eventually decided to allow them to deboard and stay at the 4-star Rock Hotel in downtown Kingston under police guard while the situation is worked on. Checks also revealed that the charter had no arrangement to take the passengers back to their destination, which aroused the suspicion of authorities. Which brings us back to these initial images in downtown Kingston on Sunday afternoon, where many of the passengers were seen freely going about their business. Some appeared to be shopping for snacks and treats. We also understand some of them may have also left the hotel entirely. When we pressed our sources on why they were allowed to go to a 4-star hotel, we were told that Jamaica has no detention center at the airport and no space in our remand center for so many people. Our source added that the passengers actually booked to stay at the hotel. They, however, did not pay for the rooms, but the source says that's why officials allowed them to go there. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, in a related development, TVJ News has learned that the German embassy is now involved in the matter, as the crew members are German nationals. The aircraft is also German-owned. Sources told our news center that members of the German crew are upset as they did not plan to stay in Jamaica for an extended period. We were informed that the plan was for the crew to fly the charter with 218 passengers to Jamaica and then depart. The crew contacted the embassy here in Jamaica, Kingston, yesterday, which has intervened. Local stakeholders are reacting.
One whole heap of mess, red flag, dark sinister plot, high security risk. One whole heap of galang in this year. Ladybug, head teacher, K, Wagwan. Who else have I seen? Carla Richards, Miranda Ruddock, Gloria Morris, Georgia Dennis. One whole heap, a red flag, a mess all over this galang. The flight never seek permission from the aviation authority before them left for come to Jamaica. The passengers on the flight have no plans documentary wise to come to Jamaica, because otherwise they would have had hotel book, come to the normal immigration procedures or whatever. When Jamaica Aviation Authority was contacted to give authorization for landing. That was the first red flag. Something approaching your airspace that you have no knowledge that was coming to your country. Ask for permission to land, and you give them permission. The question to ask, did they sought permission from any other country before Jamaica? All right, a Jamaica them there come. The fact that the fact that there was no notification of a flight coming into the airspace, that is a huge security risk. Sasha Lewis. You give them landing. Any other normal country in this situation, what they would do, okay, you give them landing on human rights ground or whatever ground or international law or whatever ground you want to give them right landing on. But when you go as far as disembarking, one that huge red flag fly up, but this time that red flag is from our authorities, direct-wise. Unless our authorities are involved in a dark, sinister plot here, is a holder. You did not expect the flight. They made no arrangement to come to Jamaica. But you disembark them. If you give them authorization for landing on whatever grounds, then your job after that is to refuel them and send them on their merry journey. It shouldn't have gone further than that. That's what any other country would have done. That is what any other country would have done, Marcia Essay. You refuel and you send them on their merry journey. You never expect them. Their passenger didn't seek immigration. Even we were going to Jamaica now, we have to float one thing before we go on a circle. So therefore, you had no right to disembark. More or less welcome them with no systematic checks. Yeah. There was no reason why they should have been disembarked from the flight, because they had no arrangement to come to Jamaica, neither the flight nor the passengers. Kingston Airport, I know Kingston Airport. Kingston Airport have a holding area for people in transit, big enough to hold them people there until the flight is refueled and ready to leave. But then to let them out in another country, undocumented, because of undocumented situation, this. Because you can't say you give them visa on arrival when they never planned to come to Jamaica. They wouldn't have met the visa requirement. I wonder if the Americans view this as a grave security risk, as a national security risk in their backyard, where Jamaica is accepting flying objects to land just in the backyard of America's airspace. Flying object that Jamaica or America didn't know that was coming into the region, albeit said to be commercial. But this wasn't a commercial flight. This was a high society flight. This was a criminals and scammers flight. I wonder if there was any drugs and guns on this flight. And a couple months ago, the Indian president did that Jamaica. I wonder what kind of deal. I wonder what kind of backdoor deal Carlin Jones, when the Indian president would have make. That Indian people can pack themselves on a plane and fly into a country without asking any question. I don't go when they're ready for land, them seek permission. And then government have them a heap up on a plate tally fare all over the country. Like, bear in mind, Jamaica, this wasn't a stress flight, This wasn't a stress flight. This wasn't a flight that ran out of fuel and had to seek emergency landing. This was a flight, as it turned out, Verna Shaw, bound for Jamaica, but bound for Jamaica in secrecy until it gets close to the Jamaica airspace where it requires landing. It seeks permission. And the Jamaican authority gives them permission to land, but further disembark them. Did not detain them, given all the suspicions that arose. Althea, when I take them, put in a hotel, and I treat them, Violet Watson, like their prize to Jamaica. How then, though, that these people arriving in Jamaica illegally by air is given this type of treatment? But when Haitians arrive illegally by boat, they're not given a due process that we've seen in this long, straight, pretty hair galangin. Is it not? This classism, this racism, apartheid behavior from the Jamaica state, where straight-nosed, long-haired people are treated different from us, the children of God. Because when Haiti people turn up, when you turn them back round and send them, when you prosecute them, how come you not prosecute these ones? Classism, racism, cronyism. Does America not see this grave security breach? Does Jamaica not see the national security? Does America not see the national security risk that Jamaica is placing America in? What if it was a plane with missiles on it? What if it was a plane with a nuclear warhead on it? Does the Americans see this as a grave concern? Have we had a press conference from our authorities with regards to this issue since it's been unfolding? Which country run under good governance you think this debacle would happen? And the Minister of National Security and the Chief of Immigration doesn't have to take in front of the podium and update the people as to what exactly is the issue, the step that the government has taken, the process of the invest. Have you heard anything of such from any of them? No, this is not the Minister of Foreign Affairs area. This is Horace Strong area. We don't care about the people them where them are come from or where them are go or whatever. This is about our border or immigration rules and regulation or aviation authorities. You understand? Yes, there may be a communication with the foreign offices, but that is way behind. That negotiation would be more to do with the return. But the issue here, Ivan Riley, is the breaches. Horace Strong and what the other criminal name were on Pika. These are the people, and the buck goes to the Prime Minister and other technocrats within the immigration department that are responsible for a lot of these breaches. The aviation authority, a whole lot of people is responsible for various different breaches. But the Minister of National Security here, on the issue of the disembarkment of the aircraft and giving these people hotel treatment and not detaining them, is one rule for another and one rule for and another rule for another set. Because when Haiti people are run for them life, they get sent back to their death. But these scammers and hijackers and potential terrorists just turn up on our island, give permission to land, not being detained, being let loose in our country, could be carrying any communicable diseases. You see the amount of problem in this one situation. I'm sure the Americans cannot be quiet on this issue. The Americans have to have serious words with the Jamaican authority. Okay, you said you all didn't know how to deal with this situation. Did you take advice from the Americans, and at what point did you take advice from the Americans? The issue is in our country. We don't have nobody to answer. We question them. Daisy Magazine, how are you? We don't have nobody to answer. We question them. Could it be that Dr. Chang was transporting a plane full of rifle from India because India high in the weapon selling galangin? India high in the big pharma galangin? What were they transporting? Was it needles or ammunitions? Dr. Horace Strong is known to ship gun into Jamaica by the container. Dr. Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security, is known to ship guns, illegal AK-47, real black woman, into the country by the container. So how can we trust a drug dealer and a gun smuggler of a minister of national security with such a shoddy dealing with a flight of over 200 people of Indian nationals and a potential terrorist from Uzbekistan? How much more criminals, international criminals, are in Jamaica and hideout? There was the Interpol wanted German national that was also in Jamaica and probably still is in Jamaica, is it not? Jamaica have to be involved in a sinister plot to be dealing with this issue in the way they are dealing with it. As I've said from the start, this never have to pass. Give them permission to land, refuel the flight, and send them on their merry journey. That is what should have happened. This curry favor, straight here, pointed nose treatment that the Jamaican Authority has given to this entire flight would have never been given to a flight coming from Nigeria, would have never been given to a flight coming from Ghana, would have never been given to a flight coming from Haiti. It would have never happened. So why then Indian people are get special treatment? Racist Indian people. Correct, Indian people more racist than white people, you know. Racist Indian people is getting special treatment. We feel with black brothers them across the aisle where the Americans them are asking if to turn gun at. Douglas Allen, how are you? Tony Tall. You see this wholeness regime? It's going to create woes for Jamaica. It is going to create woes for Jamaica. We're going to get in a so pretty where we can't get ourselves out of. And you see when the people of Jamaica, woe be unto Uno. Uno go wake up one morning and it's going to be a sad indictment. Uno go wake up one morning and it's going to be a sad indictment because you know what? Uno sit down and wait for everybody fight on a battle. While Uno lose Jamaica piece by piece, inch by inch. Uno soon turn slave right there. You know? Uno soon turn slave right there. Who can make it out? We'll have to walk and clean up behind Chinese, Indian, and white people. Because the way, the mindset one in a Jamaica, this is where we're heading to. Who can get out? We have to stay there and clean up behind old master and the indentured laborers who are come to take over control. If they can just drop out a sky like hailstone, so. If they can just drop out a sky like hailstone, drop at the Gleaner and the Observer foot, and not one of them spoke about it, Jennifer Crew. Not one of them spoke about it, but now them ready to come tell we. So the security minister said preparation and make to send them back home today. They should have never been disembarked from the tarmac. Refuel the flight, send them on their merry journey. That's what any government who understands international law and diplomacy would have done. You never expect them, they never come there. It's not a stress flight. Brittany, it is not a stress flight. It is not a flight that need landing because something happened to the plane mechanically, or they unexpectedly run out of fuel before they get to their required destination. It turned out them plans to come to Jamaica. None of the passengers. No, something have to go on here. America not see this serious. So Jamaica just take a flight, make any just about any flying object land in its backyard. There have to be a sinister plot behind this. I wonder though, the Americans. I wonder if the Americans are involved in a sinister plot here also. I wonder if these are fighters that are being pulled in to send into Haiti to fight guerrilla warfare. I don't know. I just have to ask questions. I wonder if it was ammunition sent in to Jamaica to go to Haiti to fight war. Because plane have a way of just dropping out of sky in Jamaica. When they're not dropping a sea, then drop and burn up before you get to them. Could it be that there is a sinister plot between the Indian president and the Jamaican prime minister? And when they whisper tell one another when him did come there where we never hear. To the point where Indian people can charter a plane, load themselves up and can drop themselves off in a Jamaica without any prior seeking of permission or seeking immigration permission to do so. We're going to find one whole heap of some things change in a Dagalang in here. The point is though, gleaner and observer turn a blind eye to it when it unfolds. Claudia Fletcher. Only when Horace Chang ready to put a narrative out, the gleaner and the observer decide to conflict them tongue. This is not what it is on the face of it. There is indeed a dark, sinister plot behind what we see here. The issue, though, is how are we going to get the answers from a tight-lipped government? Remember, I told you Jamaica is locked into a geopolitical. I told you sometime last year, I think, or earlier this year, or I think sometime last year. Jamaica is locked into a geopolitical warfare between the Americans and the Chinese. The Indians are enemy of the Chinese. The Chinese are enemy of the Indians. The Indians are friend of the Americans because the two of them want to counter China power. Ivan Bradshaw, Shaman Ranger. Jamaica is going to get itself into a geopolitical pickle where civil war is going to unleash our own way. And we're going to lose the battle, people, because we're not prepared, nor are we united. So any Indian people and Chinese people can come in with their money and bribe a sector of the nation, and the Americans them come in with them gun and them drugs and bribe a sector of the nation, and brouhaha, Cornell C, all hell break loose across the country. Because our leaders are prostitute and them licky and them are like a beggy girl round corner where every day, every man them sick at them birthday. This is the prime minister where we have. This is the politician where we have. You know them girl the way every see you see them at their birthday. This is the type of politician we have. Them bend over and low down and licky for everybody. So few politician them not stand up to nothing, nobody, nothing, no reason. Them just fall down for anything we can put in them pockets. A careless girl politics are going in Jamaica. We're going to wake up one man in Jamaica, people, and we're going to lose the place here where we are talking about. Carlos Wagwan. See the Gleaner and the Observer, Carlos. Whole time the plane will drop out of sky and drop right at them foot. None of them never see it. And now this evening, Mr. The Gleaner and the Observer run out with Horace Chang narrative. So them are prepare for return the flight them to the preparation and make for send them back. And from Thursday, Friday, the Gleaner and the Observer silent on the matter. They don't talk about it. But now it's the Minister of National Security. The illegal arms dealer, Horace Chang. The illegal arms dealer, Horace Chang. Them run come out to put out Horace Chang narrative. That is what the Gleaner and Observer publish about an hour ago. That's the Gleaner. Arrangement being finalized for Indians to leave Jamaica, say Minister of National Security. The Observer, flight with over 200 Indians to depart today. Me not read them Horace Chang narrative because they never told us about the story when it was all unfolding. But this is a huge mess. And I hope if the Americans, if this is not a plot for bringing fighters or arms for Haiti, I hope the Americans are very stern on this issue with Jamaica, because this is a grave security risk where Jamaica authorized a flying object to land in the backyard of America's airspace without knowing what or who is on the flight or the purpose that the flight entered the Jamaican airspace for. Dorothy Brown. Jamaica people, this is a risk to your national security. Jamaica people, this is also a risk to your health. We don't know if these people have communicable diseases. We don't know if they came in with weapon. We don't know if they came in with biological weapon. They can come with biological weapon, people, where then just walk and spray things on your door handle and box your uncle. The Russians know well about what I talk about. Is this human trafficking, Marcia Stewart, Stacey Thomas, for the black market economy, where people smuggled in for the black market economy. But there's a whole heap of breaches and red flags. Let us read that the executive of PICA, the Minister of National Security, the Civil Aviation Authority, all of these people have questions to answer. In any democracy, in any country of good governance, all of these people would have to answer questions, all of these people would have to grace us in a press conference. Why are these people given special treatment? Why classism and racism is applied here to some of the most racist people on God's earth? When Haiti people come, protege, when Haiti people come, who are asylum seekers, who international law says you must go through a particular process, you deny them, Horace Chang, that process by doing what is called an automatic return. And racist people who could charter a flight, pick up a potential terrorist along the way, and only ask you for permission to land before landing, and you give them permission, disembark them, put them in a hotel. Can you give an account for everybody who came in on that flight? Is it everybody that came in on that flight that will be returning? Is the Americans, Pamela McNeil, a part of this investigation? And if they are, who is going to give us those information? Because we can't see the American them would have met this unfold in a them backyard where Jamaica have a terrorist, potential terrorist in America's backyard. This is a grave concern. This is a great security risk. This is a national security risk to Jamaica, to America, and to the wider region. If Jamaica continue on this trajectory and just take anything from out of the sky dropping at Jamaica. So. But you, the Jamaica people, we sit down and wait for white people God come save, you know. Him really are going to come train you know, up again like 400 years, 500 years ago. The white people, God, would chain you up in a cane and cotton field 500 years ago. We're only descendant of the slaves, still await upon that white God who chain you up in a cane and cotton field. We not continue wait because if him come, him go chain you right back in the cane and the cotton field again. Them a go on ganja for make medicine and all sort of material. So they may even put some on a Christian in the ganja field. And with the son may raise up and have sense. But the way how Jamaica people just lackadaisical about them country so. Everything are going wrong. The government can't take it. Family can't take it, own it. They can't take it and pop it down. Them can't do anything with it. And you've never seen the people of Jamaica standing up to protect them freedom or them democracy. We don't want everybody to walk and fight for no. We don't want everybody to walk and fight for no. And not one or no would stand up. Not one or no would stand up. When you just decide every day, people feel look after you. Sit down and wait upon a white God. Sit down and wait. Because you know, anytime you come, I'm going to turn right back up in the cane and cotton field again because them picnic them need to grow them wealth. Damn fools. Every day get up doing the same thing over and over and over. Look how much ear we pray to white people. and we not see no joy out of it, and we still decide to pray harder rather than we get up and go unite, organize, and centralize what Marcus Garvey tell we to do. We still a sink lower and lower into the psychological abyss where everybody comfortable with we, because once we did it, so Chinese can come and take, Indian can come and take, and whites can continue to own us. You know, so we are fool. Hmm? You know, so we are fool because we sit down and wait for people come save we. When we say every other nation on this earth fight them battle, military, economic, or political. Hmm? Salah and slave Tony, I mean, I use the word where Abraham Chure called them Salah and slaves. Hmm? Because you notice when them talk about the economy this and the economy that, it's just the Salah and slave galangin them a talk about. Half of these people in the Salah and slave industry don't have pension, don't have sick pay, don't have benefit, don't have holiday pay. A hand to mouth galangin them depan. You understand? But Jamaica people just sit down and decide say, it is going to get better one day. How? Where on this earth have you ever seen a situation get better until people decide to change it to the better? If we continue to sit and wait on, the situation around with black people only are going to get worse. And let me tell you, Jamaican, start love up Africa. Someone when I want to hear say, you know African or Africa, you know come from. Start changing. Because the Jamaica wanna love up. The Jamaica wanna stand up for. The Jamaica wanna can stand up for. We're not going to have to run from that backside. And Africa is the only place that is going to be willing to take on. Because anybody else take on, them are going to take on as slaves and servitudes. So uno start look to Africa, because that's uno grace and mercy are gonna be. The same way then jag with a friend they come in a boat, we going to have to get up in a boat and run back there. Because that Jamaica ya what we think say, I feel we and we own it. We not that far from lose it. Because other nation people rich enough where they can charter a plane to drop them in our country unauthorized. And them have to get special treatment. Because they come from nuclear country. They come from country where in the arms race. Them come from a country where want to competition China in Jamaica. Jamaica is a geopolitical battleground between the Americans, the Indians, the Chinese, the Russians. Jamaica is a geopolitical battleground. Jamaica is not far from spilling over into Haiti's violence because of the amount, the different type of players in Jamaica with the intention to secure land and resources in Jamaica. It is going to be a battleground. And with uno worthless dull, uno, the word we want to call the bad man, them, you know. On a bleach out face, deep batty hole, bad man. One can go shoot down innocent people. One can never stand up against state oppression. One can never stand up to protect our country. But give you the chance to go shoot a woman around the corner, kidnap a little girl around the corner, shoot down another woman picnic innocently round the corner. Woman of Jamaica, we want to ready and run out to protect bad man and run out to demonstrate for bad man. Not one of you careless mothers, not one of you feckless mothers, you ever say run out and demonstrate when one on a picnic gets stabbed or murdered on school road. You careless mothers. But you know, we run come out to come black road and bun tire for gunman. But when on a picnic get killed, there's no outrage. When young girls get kidnapped from the community, no outrage. We soon don't have anything to fight for. We soon don't have anything to stand up for. Or, for that matter, we take it back to the plantation. Take the bad living back to the plantation. Because as sure as night follow day, the direction we are on and the regimes that surround us, or direction, one can say it's a high possibility, Shauna Smith, that we are on that direction back to free labor. Probably won't be shackled slavery, but guns pointing at you, slavery. Beaten into submission, slavery, because you are outpowered. Jamaica people are never going to see the risk and the danger that surrounds them, particularly and exactly under this particular regime. Una not go wake up until it's too late. When una wake up, it is going to be too late to save many of you. Well, we're not. I'm not up to date on the latest of this situation. The issue, though, is they will not answer our questions. There are a lot of questions here that PICA needs to answer, the Minister of National Security needs to answer, and the Aviation Authority needs to answer. All of these people needs to answer our questions and give us an explanation as to what has unfolded, the step that the Jamaican Authority has taken. We might need a public inquiry into this, because this is a security crisis. It's an immigration scandal. It's an aviation scandal. Beulah, Tash, how are you? Arlene Foster. There's a whole lot of questions that need answering in this. Sunshine, I do hope so, because I think the US cannot allow this to go sideways without pulling up Jamaica very hard on an issue like this. The Americans should call Andrew Holness to Washington and ask him to tender his resignation. The Holness regime and its lack of management in Jamaica is not only putting Jamaica at risk, but also putting the wider region at security risk. And if the Americans are happy with this, I am not. And my country isn't. And our diaspora isn't. So it would be shocking if the Americans look sideways at this and does not see this as a grave security threat introduced by Jamaica. We authorize a flying object to land in our air, to fly into our airspace, land and disembark, and not being detained, but being given special treatment, being processed unlike Haitian refugees, where international law demands that you go through the asylum process, whether you give them asylum or not, refugee status or not. But international law demands that you go through the process. And those people were subjected to automatic return. Whereas racist Indian people are given special treatment. The classes mat have been rolled out. The classes carpet have been rolled out for racists to just drop out of the sky. And black people want to access them own Jamaica. Can charter a flight and just reach your gate, them tell you to open the gate, them are coming. Oh, no, don't see the danger. How much other of this scenario happened in Jamaica? How much of this happened whenever surfs? How much illegal entry? How much people in Jamaica that came via the illegal entry route? How much Indian nationals are in Jamaica undocumented? How much Chinese national are in Jamaica undocumented? How much Russian nationals are in Jamaica undocumented? Jamaica is locked into a geopolitical struggle. And with the type of government we have, the licky bend over back roads, skin out government that we have, is putting us more and more in danger, because every man put them hand in a them pocket, the Holness regime lie down. Whosoever will may come is the type of governance Andrew Holness is running in Jamaica. Take out the money and Andrew Holness regime will lie down. Is the type of politics where we are run. And more that is getting us into Catawaya. That's playing a drop out of the sky, a gleaner observer foot. And them not see it, them not talk about it until Horace Chang give them a narrative to talk about. But the war between we and the Babylon, them just can't over. Thank you very much for being here with me tonight. My head tired. I want to go lay down now. Anytime I travel past slow chain, it gives me pain ahead. And I had to use the slow chain come back to the slow chain gives me headache and anxiety. So I'm going to retire to my bed. Cousin Myrna, you just come. You just come when me are done. Just watch your fan start to finish though. But Jamaica people, ask your MPs questions. It is your MP you need to ask a question, so your MP feed that question back to central government. Don't just turn a blind eye to this security risk. Ask your MP, are we safe as Jamaicans? Is our borders protected as Jamaicans? Ask your MP to ask Dr. Chang those questions. Lorraine Taylor. But thank you all for being here. I'm tired, I go sleep now. Chris B, how are you? But join me back tomorrow when we will be back with our At a Glance program. And we certainly will be probing further into this issue. Sending back the plane and the passenger is not enough. The security debacle and the security risk, the immigration debacle has already happened, Gwendolyn Scott. Another blunder of the wholeness regime. Why may I tell you, if Price did dip and blunder, the wholeness regime would not make money right now. But thank you all very much. We will see you right back here tomorrow.
Can't say we never did a warn you. No more golden, him come here to teach you. Alright then, no trouble take your ladder, God beat the shut it, I go fit you. Hey bro, God, no trouble take your ladder, God beat the shut it, I go fit you. Alright then, Jamaica love how my golden is working. It's working. Step out in the street morning and evening. I say a little of this and a little of that. Listen him voice to the streets of backs. Enough labor right, them don't love that. A full speed ahead and him not cut that. Temper, Lord God, labor right in a temper. Alright then, fever, Lord God, bro, God gets fever. Oh, we, I'm but about the black tank and get suspension. Can't believe I remove on behalf of the station. This is frustration. Brother come and say buy him tongue. Come and show receipt in a hand. Him say him buy 10 tongue, but when we look for receipt never stamp. No trouble take your ladder, God, but they shut it, I go fit you. Alright then. No trouble take your ladder, God, but they shut it, I go fit you. Oh, we. The people them say, bro, God, lock off the water. The water. On the top of water shot in our area. In our area. Well, this is Jamaica with the land of food and water. The water. Tell we all water for shot in a Jamaica. In a Jamaica. Them two lion thief and we catch them at weed. Lock them up, mark, that's where the key. Tired the sufferation, we want to free. Hey, Jamaica vote PNP. No trouble, take your ladder, God, but the judge that go fit you. Alright then. No trouble, take your ladder, God, but the judge that go fit you. Alright then. Can't say we never warn you.